Greetings, welcome to Grey Goose Bows. If you are watching this video, you either have purchased a longbow nano or are about to purchase one or are just curious about longbow nanos. Longbow nanos are a little toy, part of a game called tabletop archery. You get 2 bows, 13 arrows, and 1 target. The thing that I find with most people is there's a little bit of a dexterity learning curve, and it's a pretty steep learning curve that you have to know. We'll go with the fact that the arrows don't have a nock on them. I don't know if you're focusing in on that.
Mm-hmm.
This means that you have to pinch the arrow. Put these down. You have to pinch the arrow, and there is on the bow, there is a arrow rest here and here. If you're right-handed, you put the left hand in the bow, and then it's on the left side of the, on the left side of the bow. If you're right-handed, you put it in your right hand, and it is on the right side of the bow. There's also all kinds of different variations as you prefer, but that's the basics. You want to make sure that the bow is, or the arrow is level with the arrow rest. It's not above like this. It's not above like this. It's not below like this. Nice and level. The other thing is that you use your thumb and forefinger like this. You clasp that around the black or whatever colored wrap is on there. You put the arrow like this so that it's level, and then you use your thumb and forefinger, just your thumb and forefinger, to pinch the arrow, draw it back to that little stop there, and then you release your hand. So you just open up like that. Typical things that people have issues with is they'll try and do like this. The bow isn't big enough to do that, and the arrow doesn't have a nock. So once you pull your fingers out of the way, the arrow's going to go wherever, and the string is just going to the bow is just going to dry fire. So the way I typically describe it to people, especially young children, is think of them pinching their younger sibling on the nose. So doing like this. What you're going to do is you're going to use your thumb and forefinger like that, and you're going to pinch the bow, or pinch the arrow, and make sure that it's behind the bowstring. So you see how I'm doing this. So I'm holding on to the arrow and I'm moving that string with the arrow like that. Okay? So I pull that, I pull it back, and then whenever I'm done, I let it fly out of my hands. Another problem, or another thing that I typically see that's an issue with when people are using this, is they'll get this part right, but then they'll add in their other fingers. And when that happens, what happens is you'll release here, but this will still be in the way, and it will foul up your shot, and the arrow will go wherever. Sometimes I'll try and demonstrate it here if Winston will get out of the way. Sometimes he'll do like that, so it won't actually shoot. What you need to do is you need to be able to pinch it with just the thumb and forefinger, draw it back. Whenever you're ready, release. So again, just to remark, you hold on the wrap here like this, the little Dacron wrap. You put the arrow like this across the across the arrow rest. You pinch it with just your thumb and forefinger, just these two things. Imagine you're pinching somebody on the nose with just that. Pinch the arrow, draw it back, and whenever you're ready, let it go. Pro tips on stringing and unstringing it. The bow has what's called a open loop Flemish twist. This means that the bowstring stays tuned when it's unstrung. To unstring it, you put this, you loop it off of that, and you slide it down. To string it, it's like that. So what you do is you press down, get the bow bent a little bit, unloop it with your fingers, and press it like that. To string it, you put your finger underneath, press down, and slide it into place. If you're not going to be shooting it in 15 minutes, just unstring it. It's safer for the bow, safer for you, etc.